Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to day 17 of our self-love challenge. Today, what I want to talk about is still with emotions. A little different though. A little like it's not just the emotions that come up within us that we know why they're coming up, because we've been triggered or whatever, but more along the lines of absorbing other people's energy. And this is something that I see talked about all the time, and I have experienced it myself all the time, my whole life. I'm just now figuring out how to put the separation in there. And it's like, whenever we're absorbing somebody else's energy, it could be easy to say that this isn't mine, it's theirs. However, if it is inside of you, if it's a sensation that you are feeling, then it's no longer theirs. They may still have that inside of them, and that's their job. Once it's in you, it is something that needs to be brought up and looked at. It's now your energy, and it's there for a reason. It's a message. And there is something that I use to help with this. It's Aaron Doughty, and it's talking about individuation and like becoming more secure with yourself, separating you from them. And what he suggests is a candle, and you stare at this candle. There's a big old wasp right there. You stare at this candle and you focus on the separation between you and the candle. Like, I am me and the candle is the candle, and there is this space between it. Because what happens whenever we're absorbing all the energy around us is that our sense of self isn't like strong. We feel like we're all one, which we are, but there's also this idea of separation, right? So doing that helped me a lot. And then being aware whenever I was walking on eggshells, trying to help someone to like make them feel better whenever they were, down. Like, all of these things come because we're in a place where we can't handle our own negative emotions, or we think that the negative emotions are bad, wrong. Like, we weren't allowed really to be angry. It's not like, it's taboo kind of. We're supposed to hide it and shove it down. And even though it's really a part of like being, people are allowed to be angry, and it doesn't mean that you need to fix them. And that's really the feeling I get whenever I'm going through this, is like, and it's pretty like, it's kind of manipulative, because it's something inside of us that doesn't feel safe because of how somebody else is dealing with whatever sensations they're having. And it comes from childhood and growing up. We weren't allowed to be angry, or sad. And so we weren't, like, we don't know how to handle it, just like we were told to like go fix it, make it better. That's kind of what we want to do with whoever it is, The more we get in tune with our own sensations and, get the ability to work through them and see what the message is, like find the purpose of it all, instead of saying, no, it's just bad and we need to do something else. The more that we're able to do that with ourselves, the more we're able to create the space for others to have these emotions. But when we were kids, and let's say our parents were angry or fighting or whatever, like we didn't feel safe. Like it was inconsistent. We didn't know, like probably took it personal and thought it was something that we did or it was our fault maybe. And so like trying to make it better, trying to stay out of the way, like walking on eggshells, that became the normal. And it continues until we decide that, anger happens and it's got a message, and we learn to process our own. And then we can see when somebody else is feeling that it probably has very little to do with us. So it kind of depersonalizes it, and it allows space for them to be, which will probably help them more than trying to make them better. Trying to make them better so that you don't have to walk on eggshells is like trying to help them so that you feel better, so that you feel safe, right? So the thing to do in these moments, whenever you're feeling somebody else's energy come into your field, is to acknowledge that it's now your energy. And then you can do the inner child work. Let it be there. Let it get bigger. Let it be. Validate it. Like it's here. Even though it was there and now it's here. So like, what is it trying to tell me? And what it's trying to tell you more than likely is that you feel unsafe, because in the past, maybe things happened that weren't safe whenever people were angry. A lot of really fucked shit happens when people get angry. And the key is to know that it's normal and that we can process it. Like, if it's in our body, it's ours, regardless of where it came from. And what I have found most of the time, it's that I don't feel safe. Even though maybe it wasn't unsafe then, it just felt that way because, we weren't allowed to be angry. Being angry in general for me felt unsafe in my own body for a long time until I was able to process it. And I have done a lot of things in anger that were not great behaviors. And that's where the unsafety comes in, because it's like you don't really know what somebody's gonna do when they're angry. So it's like our body trying to keep us safe, but at the same time, we can give ourselves that safety. And then we can let them be angry or whatever they are. And we can offer to support, like, do you need to talk? Do you need a hug? Do you need space? Without trying to fix it, because it's not broken. It's something that, they're just going through like we all do. But it's not our responsibility to take it on when that does, it just happens. And I think it's just because, for me anyway, whenever I was a kid, I was very aware of moods. And so like if there was any difference that suggested danger, I would go hide in my room, and just lay low. So, and then I would think it was my fault too. Like if I were better, maybe this wouldn't happen. But being able to see that it wasn't that now, that, life, and we all deal with this. So just bringing that focus back to you, off of the other person. Like, yeah, it may have come from them, but really, if it's in your body, it's yours. And doing that same work, giving yourself that safety, it can really help. I think that when people are having the negative emotions, if they feel like you're trying to fix or change or make them better, like, it doesn't really help, you know? Like, we all just want to be seen and validated and in our truth. And the truth of the matter is, you might be angry. And there's something there to uncover. So, today's challenge is I have two. Whenever this sort of thing happens to me, one of the things I like to do is put some music on and just dance. Like, move the energy. Move it around, feel it, let it be there. If it's anger or unsafety, like jumping and stomping around, holding yourself, whatever it may be, let the energy move. And then another big one is the Ho'oponopono. I don't know if I said that right. It's a Hawaiian prayer thing. And I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And I do this whenever I've taken on somebody else's energy and I like kind of am blaming it on them. I do that. I say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Because, like, I'm sorry to myself for making it about me, you know? Like, forgiving myself for taking on their issue, you know? Letting myself know that I love me no matter what, you know? What was the other one? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Like, gratitude. Thank you for being me. Thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for working through the sensations in your body, in my body, for me. You know? And whenever we do that, whenever we can forgive ourselves, especially because, you know, we've all been angry too, so like, forgiving yourselves for the time that you wanted somebody to take away your anger instead of processing it on your own and thinking that something external could solve it, you know? And then it's easier to forgive them for wanting that, if that's even what they want. I think a lot of the time we just do this and it's like super not good for them or you. You don't have to fix them. That's their job. When it comes into your field, that's your job. I hope this helps. I'll see you guys tomorrow.